Foundry for Steam Next Fest. This is an automation game, so think Factorio, Satisfactory, that kind of stuff. I don't know much about it beyond you see it's kind of a cartoony aesthetic, and like there's got all that going on. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop into settings and see what we got here for accessibility settings. Now again, the absence of accessibility settings isn't necessarily a problem. So like here's one: head bob off, thank you. Screen shake off, thank you. So it definitely has already some very helpful screen or accessibility stuff. Do you have motion blur? Okay, and by default it was already frame limited to 60, which for people who stream and all that is a good thing. We could scale up the UI, so we're definitely gonna do that. So yeah, so we've got some solid accessibility stuff there. Without anything else, we're just going to head and start. So it is a random C world, so it is more like Factorio in the way that the world is randomly generated, versus Satisfactory where it's pre-designed. Launching drop pod. Okay. Scan potential landing area. Okay. Initial planetary landing. Okay. Prepare robot. Okay.
Welcome, operator. I'm Carl, your facility management artificial intelligence. My goal is to assist you in setting up a factory. Let's run a few basic checks before we get started. Open your map to check your surroundings.
Okay.
Fantastic. There are several ore patches in the vicinity. Equip your ore scanner from the inventory and use it to locate the ore patches.
How does one inventory? C is for inventory. Okay, that's a very interesting choice.
To get started, approach both of the ore patches and mine some ore.
Yeah, F2 is the information database. It's good to have this kind of thing. Like, I appreciate this existing in games, but to me, this is not substitute for a tutorial or anything like that. Because the read everything approach to the teaching is really rough. I do believe it's good to have, though. It's good when you're like playing the game, you're like, man, I don't remember. What do I need to do this? That's good for that. Like it's what you'd use like a wiki for. Is what I see those kind of things good for. But basic learning, like how to equip item, that you either need, like ideally it's intuitive, so you don't even need someone to explain it to you. And a big part of that is if there are certain controls games just use, like as this kind of like the standard, you follow it. So like either using tab or I or whatever for inventory, that's kind of the standard. Like C for crafting is fine, and or tab for crafting. But like that's the thing, I was going through like all the normal buttons I would expect to do it.
Great. Now that we have an initial supply of ore, we need to smelt it into plates and rods. Go back to your drop pod and use the built-in smelters to create your first crafting materials.
That's it. I mean, when it was relevant task, it probably pulled up the relevant information. But I see what you mean. You want the game to go press C for compartment up the center. I wouldn't even say press C for compartment. I would say make it use tab or I. Like having a control schema that goes counter to all the other games in the genre, if you don't have a really strong reason for it, just creates player confusion. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to take a 5-second break from the game, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to spend 5 minutes trying to figure out what the heck the inventory button was. It's actually one of the things that can be a pain point in simulation games that I enjoy so much. If you don't play them for a little while and you spend like 10 minutes being like, how do I use my this? How do I use that? Oh, I can customize my character. Alright, what button do I do? Okay, it's left click. There's one reason I see, and it's more than enough. I have to reach across the keyboard to hit I versus Z. Yeah, but that's the reason why a lot of games they use tab. Okay, I mean it's already on orange, which is the correct color for it to be. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things. It's like games that don't have escape, like that they don't make escape close menus, bothers me so much. Yeah, whenever I get a game and it's like, it's okay if there's other buttons that do it, but no matter what I'm doing, if I hit escape and I have a menu up, it should close the menu. No. I mean, WASD was around for a very long time as well. Like, there's justification for switching to WASD, and that's because you have all the keys around it, versus the arrow keys, you got nothing around it to work with. Honestly, the thing that did away with the arrow keys was the mouse. The introduction of the mouse, they said, well, how do we get a hand for this? So there was a strong reason for the change. Hey, people, how's it going?
Now that we have basic materials available, we should start crafting building blocks which act as a foundation for other buildings. To do so, you need to open the crafting menu and click the desired items. Then, place them in the shape of a platform next to one of the ore patches.
Okay, so that's the reason it's C, is it's your crafting menu. At the earlier part, they just don't show it. That's fine. So you want building blocks 25. Alright, so that's gonna take a hot minute. And the reason I'm annihilating all the trees is just so I can see. And also they're trees. You know how it is. Just because of Satisfactory, I instinctively be like, I need the biomass to feed the burner. Okay, place the building blocks as a foundation next to an ore deposit. Alright. So it's C. That's 5. I don't want it to be raised up. I want it level with the ground. UNEC is going to forever have all of the quotes be me against nature.
To automate ore extraction, we need to set up a drone miner. Craft one and place it on top of your foundation right next to the ore patch.
Okay, so I need to make a drone miner. That requires machine parts, xenoferrite plates, and a whole bunch of stuff I have no idea what is. Okay, so machine parts, I need 8. That requires the xenoferrite plates. We also need electronic components. Alright, so I've got that. Yeah, so I just need more plates and all that. So I need 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. No, it's like I agree. It seems to be like the same thing. So that's interesting. So why would I not just drop it on top of that?
Drone miners and most other buildings require power to function.
Ah,
Let's
I
build
see
a
now.
biomass generator on the same foundation as the drone miner. Once built, you need to harvest some plants and trees with your mining drill to collect biomass. Insert the biomass into the generator and it will start to power all buildings on the same foundation as the generator.
Oh, it's down there. Okay, and it is like it's working just like Factorio, where if I try and craft so I don't have the materials, it'll queue it all up.
Go watch your mining drones acquire your first automated ore. Aren't they beautiful? Anyways, we need to get going. Let's build a smelter next.
Okay, it's like, aren't they beautiful? It's like, you're making it weird, man. Okay. So we're crafting up that real fast.
The smelter is more efficient than the inbuilt drop pod smelter, so you should start using this from now on. Another benefit is that we can automate the smelters to make our life easier. For this, you need to connect the drone miner to a smelter by using loaders and conveyor belts.
Thank you Hoots McDouche for subscribing for 7 months.
Thank Hoots for the, which one kind of sub is that? Prime Gaming sub? You only get one of those a month and you used it here, and I really do appreciate that. You've been subbed to the channel for 7 months, so thank you so much for that continued support. It does mean a whole heck of a lot. So I need 2 loaders. So that's more machine parts. Then we need more plates. We have to make 2 loaders and 20 conveyors. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we're finishing off the ore that we collected by hand. One moment. Sorry about that.
It looks like you understand the basics of factory building. Congratulations. To advance, we need to start our research program. It will help us unlock new technologies to improve and grow our factory. Build a research server to get started.
So, I guess I have to have that? Oh yeah, I see. So it takes it off the belt. Do I need to... let's see. Okay, so it's an output and input. I understand now. So that's automated. But I'm going to need to expand a new location as well. Is it not? You're not seeing it loading. Rotate. Rotate what? This has an arrow that's pointing into the machine on top here. This is an arrow that's pointing out. It goes in the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt goes here, and it loads up and goes in. Like, I think the only reason it's not automating is because I had hand-loaded this. I can... Oh, yeah, no, it's automated. It's fine. It's working. The moment I pulled out the inventory, it pulled in a handful of ore. Yeah, no, it's working. It's just, because it's already full, it's not bothering to get more. Alright. Yeah, no, conveyor belts don't feed. The idea is, think of this if you're looking in Factorio terms. This is an inserter. It's an arm that grabs and shoved in there. And all it matters is the material passes underneath it. So I need to expand the foundation. The other thing we'll need to do is we will need to go to the other ore and get that set. Right now we're kind of in the tutorial thing, so it wants me to make a research server. Alright, we'll want to get all the mining stuff and all that set over there, so at least that's automated as well.
To advance in research, you will need to build science packs. Craft a few by hand to unlock your first research, the assembler.
Yeah, you know what I'm probably not going to do? Oh yeah, I'm probably going to have to, because I imagine the assembler is required to make the other thing. Alright, those are too wide, so we'll need to go like this. Alright, so science packs. Where are those located here? So I need more than that. Huh. That's fine. In the meantime, let's go over here. What I'm going to need to do is I need to make more materials. Let's try it now. So I need machine parts 10. Yeah, so I just need more materials. And you need more of the plates, and I'm out of the plates. Because it doesn't seem like you get nearly as much mileage out of these if I drill it myself. Okay, so I need 6 plates. Never mind, it's because they're clearing the stuff off the top that it was doing that earlier. Alright, let's take that, start torching that real fast, and get that automation set up so I'm not sitting here having to babysit. Okay. So we'll hand mine this for a minute, try and get ourselves some more ore, and we'll move on from there. See, now this game does its music better. Now, like, granted the music is, like, very, very mellow, kind of out of the way. It's very quiet. But it's always there. Or at least mostly here. It's been just a thing in a lot of games that we'll just sit there and, like, listen to either silence or, like, just wind blowing in the background. That's okay for, like, if you're trying to build suspense or something. Like, you're getting ready to, like, face the big danger thing. You're going into its room and it's all spoopy and all that. Sure, that's fine. But when you're sitting there, like, just chilling around the map and there's just no sound at all, it's like, okay, please. Alright. So you want me to research assembler. I really need to get these bots online. It's interesting that the tutorial had you set up on the other one first, which is fine. Like, that part's fine. But before they had you circle back to automate this side, they're like, do the research and all that, even though you're going to need more materials. It feels like they should have stepped you through automating this, and then a little less hand-holdy about it was like, okay, now do the other one.
You just unlocked the assembler. This machine will allow you to automate production of more complex items. From here, your top priority should be to automate the production of more science packs.
Right. And to automate the production of more science packs, I would need to have this set up. Did it force you onto that patch? Because, like, I felt it told you to put it on the next to a patch. But yeah, I should have had... Nah, it didn't force me onto either patch. It just said put it on a patch. Yep, so I need more of those plates. Is there a flashlight button? Yeah, it's L. L is fine for flashlight. Let's see, it definitely feels like the game expects you to know how automation games work. This would be rough for anyone who hasn't played one before. Yeah, I am going to be very forgiving about, like, I'll still comment saying, hey, it probably should have this. But, like, when at the end I'm like, how do I feel about the game kind of thing, I'm not going to ding them for that, because this is an alpha version for, like, Steam Next Fest. So it's not, it wouldn't be fair to be like, let's weigh it on that, because that's not what you'd expect the final product to be, even remotely. I don't even know if you can actually buy it right now. That's something I don't really know off the top of my head. Alright, you at least pulling ore now? Yep. Cool. So I still want to get the Smeltron line, which is going to require a lot more of that. And once we get the Smeltron line, then we'll start going on to the next thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if it's something that's, like, it's not even commercially available to, like, buy yet, I'm not gonna ding it for not being fully set up. Because, like, that's actually one of the things that leads to a complaint to have right now on Steam, not so much games themselves, but Steam, that because of the way a lot of the stuff works on Steam right now, when it comes to reviews and how demo reviews also affect the end product and all that, that you have a whole bunch of games right now, they're making the game and then they're making the game prologue as like two separate items, so that way they don't get dinged by the by bad reviews of their demo version. And I find it incredibly frustrating. Like, I'd rather I could just go to a game and then just, from there, have everything I need. Yeah, so I need more of this. It's fine, so I don't need to hit those buttons. I'm also appreciating that the way the power seems to be working in this, I don't have to worry about that. Cool. And that's all set up and automated. Okay, so they have successfully gotten rid of a block. So next up will be the assembler. Now once we get the assembler, we'll put it a spot in the middle. I'm gonna try and make this all one foundation, which is gonna be very wasteful on materials. But I don't really want to have to run down, like, having power run in a billion different places. More than likely, I suspect will end up happening is we'll get some equivalent to power poles or remote power or whatever. Yeah, let's see how this thing works, and once we get it going, we'll start trying to bridge the two of these. Can I take you apart now? Because your service is no longer needed. There we go. Because usually with these games, one of the big mistakes you make is crowding your stuff and then not having room to work. Yep, definitely more Factorio 3D. Small world grid, 0.5 meter. And everything aligned to conveyor belts placed on a grid by the tile machines, load resources. Yeah, that is actually... So, sometimes it can be fun in Satisfactory, and sometimes it can be very frustrating in Satisfactory. The imprecision of stuff, if you don't have a foundation to bolt it to, can be really annoying. Going to get our smelter running. Because we're bottlenecking on those materials. I checked out Shapes too. I have not yet. It's like Factorio style 3D manufacturing like this. It does a lot of interesting stuff. Web-based 2D shape. Yeah. I know I've heard someone mention it before, but I have not checked it out as of yet. So I know it wants me to make the assembler, but I'm trying to scale this up so I'm not waiting on this thing nearly as much. Scaling up operations there. Is there any combat? I actually do not know yet. I'm gonna guess no, but I don't really know one way or the other. I've honestly found I don't really need combat in these styles of games. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done Factorio, I've played Death Worlds, and that can be interesting. And that tends to be like fun as a one-off. But like Satisfactory, for example, sure, you can kill the various things in the map. Like, you end up doing it, but really, it's not that big a part of the game. Like, you don't have to defend your base or anything like that. When you're working at a factory, I want to focus on the factory, not killing. Exactly. Like you're trying to have chill factory time, and there's just stuff in the way. I do think there's a place for games where you have to like fight it as well. But it is one of those things that I feel like a lot of the automation games that add it's kind of just in the way. When the factory tries to kill you, it always does. A little bit at a time with every breath of air. It's playing the long game. It's playing a damage over time build. Just a really, really slow wind-up. Thank you for the biddies cookie. I've seen the person who was the originator of that meme. You know, there's like she was joking about like she doesn't like really engage with like new versions of that meme very often, but every once in a while she'll be like, okay, this is just actually really fun. So you know, like give credit to it. All right, so let's go ahead and get another smelter online here. And by another smelter, I mean several. Because always one of the things you want to do in these games early on is whatever your base materials are, just scale that crap up. The Foundry must grow. Yup. Meanwhile, let's grab you. Alright, and drop that off. So yeah, now they're out running its production, so no more smelters for a little bit. I'll go over here and we'll do the same with this, and then we'll be ready to start actually putting more effort back into research. Okay. And the other reason I'm doing it this way is just so I can kind of clean up some of this. It's also nice to have this much of a surplus, because when you do, you can just go, okay, I'm gonna need more of these, and just slam out like a bunch of these intake things, whatever they were called, I don't remember now. And not have to worry about, oh, am I going to have enough materials and all that. Alright, so we've got that, and we've got that. So now we need to get the assembler. But first, I'm curious if I take this the whole way over there and make it into one grid, do they share power? Because my guess is yes. The downside is they're not actually on the same plane. Because I put them all in the same plane, then I can just use one power source and not have to run around here shoving power into multiple places. So in theory, this should be one grid now. Okay, so now we want the assembler. Endure 3x3. Okay, so configure assembler, and we can have it produce other materials for us. So it wants us to do the science first, which isn't a bad call, but we don't want to do more than that. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll put the conveyors along this side. Yeah, so it needs the rods and the machine parts. So machine parts will be, I guess, first. That requires the plates. Alright. So we got some work to do. Let's go over here. Oh. I missaw what was there. I was like, wait, what? Alright. Let's actually take this. Rotate it that way. Give ourselves some more space to work with. And I know I didn't need to inlay this in the ground, but, you know, we're here now. Alright, so. I need that one. We need a whole bunch of stuff made. So we have the sciences requires machine parts and the rods. The rods, we just get through that. That requires the ferrite plates. We'll worry about that on the other side. Yes, we got a whole lot of stuff we gotta make happen. Take you. Give me machine parts. Alright, so now I need to start feeding the ferrite plates over here. Let's grab them. Oh, I didn't need to drop that one. Can I shove the dirt back in that spot? Is that how that works? Excellent. I'll deal with that later. Okay. So from here, what's going to happen... Start loading up the plates on there. Gonna ship those all the way over to there and get those starting to produce. The reason I'm going all the way over there is just so I have the construction kind of in one place. Oh, those are wrong. And I'll need an incline to go up. Alright. So this will take a minute for it to give me enough belts to do this. And I'll end up turning that the other way. Alright, so I'll start getting us machine parts. And you're going to make... conveyors. And you're going to make the other conveyors. Actually, I don't need that many. Because that'll be output, input, input. Not a great way of dealing with that with the spacing I gave these. We're gonna shift these over a little bit more. I need to give them a little bit more room so I can get more than one belt fit down the middle. But there's a concept that people use in Factorio that's referred to as a mall, which is where you make just an area that you kind of just run over whenever you need anything. You can grab whatever you need and then get to whatever construction you've got going on. I'm looking at doing some along those lines. I'm not sure how I want to actually go about this, though. We can go here. Need a couple more belts that are angled. Oh, you take 2 spots to do that. Well, that's really annoying, actually. Alright, well, that ruins that strategy. It's fine, it makes sense. That's fine, we'll do this the inconvenient way. The inconvenient way is it just gets in our way when we're walking around. That's fine. I'm sure we'll unlock splitters and all that that'll make this way better down the road. We just don't have access to it yet. That's input on both. Oh, you need foundation. I understand. Okay, so little by little we'll get this all hooked up. We've got the 2 intakes there for the plates. And then the 2 intakes there for invalid... Oh. There we go. And the 2 intakes there for the motors. Yeah, so you can't do that. Which does make sense. Actually, we don't need to make it fast fancy. Alright. So now I just need to go over here and drop that ramp in here. Not the right direction. Out. I know I can make it go up. There we go. Hold right mouse button. There we are. Cool, and just like that, conveyor belts will now be automated. So that means the next thing on the agenda is let's go to our assemblers again. Get a bunch of those going. Not a whole lot, Ogosa. Checking out the Foundry demo. It's been pretty good so far. It's sort of like, when I say 3D Factorio, I don't mean Satisfactory. I mean like actually Factorio, but 3D. Like it definitely feels way more Factorio than Satisfactory. Alright. Okay, so what are you going to need? So for the research, we already have the machine parts being produced, so we can make that happen pretty easily. Let's go ahead and grab that. Go right here, drop you there. So I don't need the plates on this one, but I do need the machine parts. Oh. And take those away from being separate things. And for right now, we'll put them here. That way, when it comes to dealing with power, I don't have like 2-3 places I have to go to. I just go right here. That's the power spot. Alright, so we've got all of them. And we need to set up their output. Alright, so we have the input there. Need to go over here and grab more plates. Alright, so they are consuming literally all of the plates. The good news is they have, like, limits on these. Why are you not getting anything? Oh, you don't need that. You need the conveyors. Okay, hold up. So cancel that belt. Well, actually, I need that belt. Keep that belt. Can I get... Nope, I need a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I'm still missing I'm guessing I need stuff from this set of machines. Alright. So we're getting there. Yeah, so we get the conveyors back online. You're doing your thing over here. Alright, so we've got that all feeding over here. And that means I can have you making my research. Does mean I can go like this. Okay, so you're good. You just build real slow. Alright, we are capping out what our power production can do, so let's go ahead and get more power going. Oh, I'm low on biomass. Okay. Time to deal with nature some more. It is kind of interesting that they're using like the little bots instead of drills and just have a range to them. I think it'll actually work out pretty well for it. So like for the mining, you don't have to have quite as much precision. You just kind of lump it in the area. It'll also be different because like with Satisfactory and Factorio, they don't have the concept of mining depth. Versus this, like it goes down to the ground. So I'll be curious how that pans out long run. Like having to adjust things for that. We got that one turned off until we need it. Okay, let's get some research active because we should be producing science now. Alright, so we get basic infrastructure, which gives us logistic containers. We get character improvement, which gives us more inventory slots. We have more advanced science. Containers, conveyor balancers. Oh, we have loaders that go farther. Logistic containers. We can improve our ore scanner. I'm curious how far away I have to go till I find new Okay, so ore seems to be real far away. And that actually might be a limitation of the demo. It's like maybe the demo, the limitation they just don't spawn in a bunch of the ore, limiting how much you can build. Does that hurt? Nope. I actually don't even know if there is life in the game. It does look like they got a bunch of different biomes. Okay, so we do have more ore. It's just way out here. Okay, so down the road, that's gonna be a pain, because that ore is way, way far away. Now I can certainly do the conveyor belts to move it from one place to the other. That's definitely an option. I suspect we'll have some form of long train transportation, whether it's trains or some type of, like, bunching stuff into a package and moving it. I mean, it'd even be fine if there isn't, but there is that. Yeah, so they want to get more out of this. I got to get more mining drones going. We're hitting a bottleneck on our ore itself. That's good. It definitely feels like we've hit the point in the game where it's just giving up on a bunch of the bunch of stuff. So we'll go ahead and do the loader, and we'll do the balancer next. So you gave me a new building, which is a logistics container. What the heck is a logistics container in the context of this game? Yeah, I'm wondering if it's more than just a box, though. Ah, I see. It is just a box, but it's a box you can set how much you're willing to store there. I understand. And those don't seem to accept an input of any kind. I was gonna see if I could, throw the biomass into a box and feed it in there, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Alright, well, I definitely like the game. I don't know what the limit on the demo is. Because it doesn't appear to be a time thing that's obvious. Let's look at the tech research available. Because that might give us an idea. Because we have the tech tree here. These are all locked in the demo version. So we've got liquid is available in the demo. Yeah, so we've got better assemblers and crafting speed, so it looks like we'll be able to get steel. It looks like there's a thing to make the power able to move farther. And I'm seeing, yeah. So it looks like we'll be able to make steel, and we'll be able to deal with some liquid. Doesn't look like oil, it just says like water. Like what are you pumping? It doesn't say. But we do have tanks that can store stuff. So it looks like you get to just the point of liquid. That is where this caps out. So we'll have, like, the materials we still don't have access to is steel, and we don't have access to whatever the liquids are. And the drones are just doing their thing. Trying to kind of force them along their way so I can just move more of that to the middle of the area. Pick up the speed on the mining. Yeah, you still got more before I want to do that. Alright. So, I do think we won't be playing this demo like the whole way through or anything like that. I do like what I see here. Let's see, mining drill, lights, inventory space, incinerator is just another means for power. Curious what the explosives will be used for. They're just things I can throw. But yeah, so later we'll get jetpacks, and there'll be a 3-lane wide loader, solar. Oh yeah, so we're not getting oil yet because that's a pump jack down there. So we're gonna be doing just water. And I'm assuming there's gonna be even more than this here, because this actually wouldn't be that much tech for this style of game. Hangar gate? Okay, I'm curious. But yeah, I would say this definitely has a really good start. It feels like someone genuinely said Factorio, but with depth. Versus like Satisfactory is a good game, but it's just a different game. We definitely see that there's a whole bunch of different biomes in this game that, as far as I could tell, there's not much different. You still gonna give me dirt? You gave me sand. Okay. But yeah, it looks pretty good so far. It definitely feels like the demo is going to be a bit shallow in content. That what I suspect we'll do is we'll get the Iridium scanner, and we'd find that. I don't know what that's even used for. We saw that in the tech tree. I actually didn't see if it's something available. We'll be able to make steel, we'll be able to get water, and that's kind of the end of the demo. They definitely have the initial that there will be oil, and that's kind of where this seems to not have anything else there. But what it could be is it could be that somewhere in here there'll be like a research lab 2 or an advanced research lab or some other means of like then getting your next series of tech. I could absolutely see that being a thing. Yeah, so that all looks like that's pretty good. They have a burner generator, which I'm assuming. Well, actually, what's that computer interface looking one? Science. Never mind. So that all looks really good. Now, of course, comes the next question of how far down can we go? Like, what is the depth of the world? Okay, we can get to stone. Because I do wonder if it'll be one of those things that you'll end up using dirts and you'll have like a quarry that you'll like slowly grind through the dirt. And then, you know, you can slowly like eat up the map. So you have like your pit of despair of just things. We won't mine forever, we'll just try going down a little bit. Because I'm assuming there'll be a bottom. I'm assuming we'll hit like bedrock in this one. That's how this game makes me feel. Okay. So we have a new material here that I cannot drill, but we will be able to. Fall damage. Is there a way to respawn? And I kept my stuff when I did that. There's no damage in the game. I didn't think there was damage. All right. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like this will be a game that we have damage or enemies. Maybe eventually they add that, but it doesn't feel like the sort of game that needs that, nor the type of game I would expect that. That's exactly 50 blocks down? Gotcha. Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, there's going to be a bottom of some kind, but we can't reach it yet, which is totally fine. It is interesting that when we looked at the, yeah, that's the show all research. Yeah, so you'll see here, we have the high voltage stuff. We get Science Pack 3s and all that. And then all this is unavailable, and most of this is unavailable. Ah, it's just for better generator. Okay. But with all that said, I think this is going to be pretty good. We'll see how far it goes, because there has been a couple of games in this style genre that have very promising start and then just never go anywhere. I hope that's not the case for this one. I don't... Let's see. Stream. I don't look at the world in my top 5. It's a demo. Like, we played for an hour. It looks good. I don't even think you can buy the game. I'm pretty sure, I think someone already said you cannot buy the game yet. It's just an early demo. But the demo has left me with generally, I feel positively about it. Yeah, so it's sitting there saying, like, hey, you can try a demo. If you enjoy your time, we'd appreciate it if you add the game to your wish list. I will hit the button and see what it does. Don't play the music. No, don't stop scrolling. Okay. It's already on my wish list. I did that for no reason. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way, because while I have enjoyed it, with the demo and kind of its limitations right now, I just want to kind of play enough to get a good feel for saying, hey, does this look like it's going to be any good or not? And if it was good, you know, put it on the wish list for check it out later. Alright. Yeah, they had explosives as well. Alright, so I got a whole list of games here that I'm not sure which one we want to check out next. Let's check out Acres. So, I've actually had people reach out to me from different groups about Acres as a game to check out on the channel. It is a demo. It is by an individual developer. That's fine. So, let me just quickly fix the audio because it's too loud before I have you all able to hear it. Okay. Alright, so turn that on. Do this. Okay, it'll have no audio when I'm not in. So Acres. Okay, and let me go ahead and update that. Checking out Acres.